So today I want to test the onboard power of the truck and just kind of see, you know, what it's capable of. We're going to plug in my Tesla here, which is a 32 amp max because it is a standard range, and just see how it does. I know Ford includes a 1450. I guess this is it. I don't know. Might be this one. Yeah, it's this one. Ford includes a 1450 with the trucks. I didn't get one because I bought the truck secondhand, and I didn't even get a charger with the truck. So the chargers that Ford includes are limited to 30 amp. They don't actually do 32. They claim it's 32, but if you actually, you know, meter it, it only pulls 30 amp at any time. This being a 30 amp system, that's perfectly fine. My charger is a 32 amp, and it pulls the actual 32 amps. So we're going to see how it actually works. So the biggest thing I want to test is the Cybertruck can't be plugged in while something is plugged into the rear. It simply turns the power off at the rear outlets if it is charging. So I'm going to leave my truck plugged in and see if this works. I've already installed the adapter here, and it's sideways, but whatever. So let's plug it in and see if it works. So initially I have nothing, but I think the truck has to be on. So we'll go ahead and start it up. Turn that off. We'll go into Pro Power on board. And we'll turn on our rear. Everything appears to be fine there. Now while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my phone and get it on the Ford Pass app so that I can monitor, if I can figure out how. Pro Power on board. And as you can see, it is on. I'm going to go ahead and record this screen just so that we have that for the video if needed. Oh, it went away. Let me refresh. It's not showing on the app, but I do have power here. So let's plug it in and see what it does. All right, I've just plugged it in. This made a click showing that it is charging. This will probably take a second to update. But while it's doing that, we do have a green light. Let's get in the car and see what it says. I did get a something went wrong on my phone just now. It went away. My best guess is that it maxed out the amperage and tripped something. Charging equipment communication lost. So, probably gonna have to be a little quick about this because we've got to turn Pro Power on board back on, but then limit the charging. So definitely not gonna work like that. Issue is it pulls too much amperage, and I knew that was gonna be a problem. So, let's actually, if Pro Power is off, which it looks like it is, we'll go ahead and unhook this and we'll switch to a much more rated adapter. So we'll go back in the truck and see what it says as far as needing to turn it on. Pro Power turned off, max capacity of the bed was exceeded. So yeah, like I said, too much. And that was to be expected. So that should just give you all the information you need right there. The Ford charger clearly does not come 32 amp because it works fine. But this being a Tesla charger, maximum 32 amp does not work fine. Let's fit it with a dryer plug, which will max out at 24 amp, and try again. All right. Didn't have this up. The 24 amp dryer plug is plugged in. The charger is showing charging, Also showing charging on the car. My app is not showing me anything. The Ford app is probably one of the worst, but we needed that. And, ooh, too far. We are getting 24 amp, 238 volt. That's pretty good. 6 kilowatt. If only my app would show me something. Let me go out. Pro Power on board. There it goes. And as you can see, I mean, it's near capacity already. Sure, it could go a little further. You've got 3,600 watts. We're using about 3,000 on each leg. So, and it's plugged in. I want to add, the lightning is still plugged into the wall, so no issues there. In a video about the Cybertruck, they took a Cybertruck and plugged it into another Cybertruck to charge it with. And then they tried to take the second Cybertruck and plug it into a Model 3 to charge off of that one. And that did not work. This one doesn't need anything special. It just works. So while we're charging the battery of the truck, we're also charging a Tesla. So I don't really need to charge the Tesla. Let's see where we're at here. So yeah, that Tesla is at 90% almost, 89. It says it will finish in an hour and 40 minutes, which is a pretty decent charge. We are getting 24 amp. I'll throw that up on the screen from my phone recording. But yeah, that's exactly what I expected it to do. Next, we're going to plug it into the house and see if it can power the house. Now, as you can tell, it rained and all of the grass is very wet. And I can't drive the truck through the grass right now, which is a huge downside to this whole, you know, using the truck as backing up your house kind of thing. But nonetheless, when things dry up in a couple of days, we're going to test that too. Now, while we're back here, I do have it on. Everything's running. There is a little orange light there below the green button that supposedly lets you know that the power is on. And that all seems to be doing really good. No issues here. Apparently you can hit the button and it'll turn off the power. But I'm just going to let it run for a few minutes. You know, maybe pull at least 1 kilowatt hour into that car just to make sure everything's going good. And while we're waiting, let's go in the truck and look at the actual status of Pro Power. So as we can see, it does show that it's on. Do show the power pulling. I'm not real sure. Getting a little bit less on this one than that one. I'm not real sure why, but I don't know what else we can see here. I do have it set to 10 miles because I'm not worried about none of that. And I have the front outlets off because I'm just simply not using those. But that is its own inverter. So at 2400 watts, that's additional to whatever this is. So the truck can actually do 9.6 kilowatt at any given time. You just have to spread your load between, you know, front and rear. I was kind of thinking, honestly, I'm thinking that the 7.2 kilowatt will run my entire house. Refrigerators, whatever, it'll be fine. If for whatever reason it's not, I can always just plug refrigerators into the front outlets and then run the rest of the house on the bigger outlet. And then if something goes wrong, only the bigger outlet's going to kick off. The front ones will stay on just fine. No big deal. And while we're talking about it, let's go check our charging. Now, this truck had finished charging during this. Oh, it's back to charging. It's still at 90% though. Oh, you can't see that. Charging at home, it is at 90% though. So, I mean, that's the end of the charging. I'm going to go on the app and see what rate it says it's charging. Just for testing purposes here. Charging. It is pulling 10 kilowatt. So we're not even using that in the car. So according to the Ford Pass app, we are charging at 10 kilowatt. But we're not using 10 kilowatt out of the truck. We're using 5 or 6. So that's interesting. Don't really know where the extra power is going to go. or if it's how it's even being used. I do know the heat's on, so that may have something to do with it. But here's an interesting fun fact I've learned. This, for some reason, keeps going to driver focused. I don't know if that's an automatic thing, but I can turn it off and then it will turn on the passenger heat. Maybe it's detecting weight on the seats. I really don't know. But for whatever reason, every time I get in it, it goes to driver focused. And it's like, okay, that's not what I wanted at all. I want to heat the whole cabin, not just me. So yeah. All right, well, let's clean everything up. Let's see what we got over here. Okay, so our door's open. Our tailgate's open. Is that it? Yes. Cool. So let's get everything packed back up and go do our errands for the day. So I just want to talk a second about the options for backing up your house with the Ford Lightning. Because that's the goal. You know, obviously I want to be able to plug my house into it and in a power outage still be able to run most things. The truck itself only has a 7.2 kilowatt inverter in the rear, 240 volt. In the front, it's only a 2.4 kilowatt, 120 volt inverter. So we can go over how this works, but we can also talk about the other options. So with Ford, you can do intelligent backup assist, I think it's called, or something to that nature. Intelligent backup is just, you know, a way for the truck to integrate with its charging station to charge your house or plug in your house, not really charge. So the Ford Pro Charger, I think it's called, they got a lot of Pro stuff, so I don't really know. I mean, it's just kind of a guessing game at this point. The Pro Charger is a $1,300 option, somewhere in that range. And it charges your truck at 80 amps, so that's crazy. 19.2 kilowatt. So, you know, that's nice. That is a built-in charger on the truck. It does that no matter what. You can optionally add the intelligent backup system. I don't know the names. The intelligent system integrates with the Pro Charger. It's an additional $3,800 or so plus installation. And what that does is it ties an inverter to your house so that if your house goes out of power, the truck can take over, you know, use its inverter that you installed and provide power for the house. The problem is that system is only 9.6, I think it is. It's 9 point something, 9.2, 9.6 kilowatt. And that's okay. That's better than the 7.2 that the truck has on board. But we're talking $4,000, maybe $5,000 if you didn't get the charger with your truck, which they are now supposedly no longer including that with the truck. You have to buy it separate. So you're looking at, you know, $4,000 to $5,000 plus installation just to get this 9.6 kilowatt backup system in your house. And then how does it work? Well, it doesn't work that great. It takes anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes to actually kick on. So you're going to lose power for 1 to 2 minutes. It's not an instant system. And then, you know, they won't let you put your whole house on it, even though, you know, a normal person like me or you, or maybe not you, but anyway, we can understand that, you know, we only have so much capacity. We need to not run everything. Like, we can't turn on the central heat and air. We know that's not going to work. What we can do is turn on like the gas furnace, because that uses literally nothing and it burns gas to heat the house. Certain things that you can do to minimize usage to, you know, stay under that 9.6, and then, you know, you're not going to have an issue, or stay under the 7.2 with the truck. You're not going to have an issue. So they won't let you put every circuit in the house on that system. You have to pick which circuits do you consider the most important that you want running while the power's out. And so you're limited in capacity of what you can do there. And if you pick the wrong circuit, well, guess what? Everything else isn't going to work till the power comes back. So SOL, that's pretty much it. The system seems way overpriced for what it can't do. Because it can do some things, but it can't do a lot more. And that's what bothers me. So, we're talking $4, $5 plus installation, $1,000 for the intelligent backup, or you can install a generator inlet, which is what I have on my house, and an interlock. Now, an interlock isn't required. However, to be up to code, it is required. If you know what you're doing and you know no one else ever touches it but you, there's a 0 chance of there being a problem without an interlock. But to be up to code, technically, you need the interlock. All the interlock does is allow you to, or it doesn't allow you, to turn on the generator inlet breaker without first turning off the main breaker. The main breaker just stops it basically from backfeeding the power back into the lines, potentially shocking someone. It's very important that you do that. However, if you understand that you need to do that before turning the generator on, it's not an issue and no big deal. Also, if you did do it and the power did come back on, you likely would blow your generator. So, I don't know about the F-150 Lightning. It probably would blow something, or maybe the fuse would just trip and you'd be fine. I don't know. I'm not going to test it. So yeah, either way, once you understand that's the sequence of breakers that need to be tripped in that order, then you're fine. It's no big deal. So yeah, interlock, optional in my opinion. We're talking maybe a couple $100 in supplies, and then I don't know what it would cost. I mean, honestly, I had an electrician run that when I first moved in because I wasn't as familiar with electricity then as I am now. And it wasn't much at all, but the inlet is right there at the panel. So really, he just knocked out a hole, run the wire through conduit, went from the panel to the inlet. It's a 30 amp inlet, and Bob's your uncle. That was it. He put a 30 amp breaker on it. Actually, I think he put a 40 amp breaker on it. I should check that. Which is not to code, by the way. But yeah, all good. That was it. And it has worked. We've got a generator we've used when the power goes out. Flip the proper breakers, you're off to the races. And my 7.2 or 8 kilowatt generator has had no problem running my entire house. Now, it does have 8 kilowatt. Normally, it does have a burst of 10 kilowatt. So when things start up, some things use more power. And so it can burst to 10. It's not a big deal. It doesn't trip any fuses. Now I'm wondering if I'm going to have as much luck with the Lightning because it's only 7.2 and there's no burst. That's it. 7.2. Anyway, I'm going for a drive. And yeah, hopefully in a future video, we will test the home backup and see how that works. We are nearing the end of the year. This will be the first video of January that goes up because I have no other videos made. I don't have anything else coming out. We may have to slow down to once a week here because I don't have anything going on. I kind of wanted to rush to get all my videos I made last year out by the end of the year. I don't really know why. And so now January 1st is coming up and I don't have any videos to be posted for next year. This will be the first one. So hopefully within the next week, I get to go test that, actually plugging the house into the truck. Because if not, I'm not going to have any content. Anyway, yeah, that's it. See you guys later.